So Musk wants to get to Mars, and he's competing with Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is Amazon and Blue Horizon. That's his company. So you've got Blue Horizon versus SpaceX. And they want to get to Mars because they're saying that humanity is under threat from AI. It's also under threat from a lot of other things as well. But AI is how they're selling the sell to get to Mars. Mars is the backup planet, and the people on Mars are the backup people to repopulate Earth if there is a huge doomsday scenario. But I disagree. I think Mars is where the laboratories are going to be. I think Mars is going to be so far away from Earth that they'll be able to do what they want. I think Mars is so different. Its lifestyle and its ambient and its climate is so different that they will need to have genetic modification. Once they've got the laboratories there to genetic modify people because of the air, because of the rays, because of the infrared, because they need different bodies, because they're underground, because they need different vitamin D or whatever it is, whatever protection they need to install into the human body for the survival of the human race on Mars. That is the permission to do it. And as humans always do, they always go for Pandora's box. They always push it too far. Look at the atom bomb. Nobody ever needed to build the atom bomb, but we did because we could. And that's the same thing that's going to happen with biological engineering. We don't need to put tails on us. We don't need to give ourselves little bunny rabbit ears, but we're going to do it. Why? Because we've got the technology. If you've got an application to put bunny ears on you, why do you do it? Because you can, because the technology's there. And that's the problem with humans. Humans have curiosity. Humans are always going to explore. Humans are always going to take everything to the edge. And that is probably what's going to create the evolvement, the next evolution of humanity as humans take control over themselves, as they command the human body. They will become gods, and they will see themselves as gods, and that will go to their head, and they'll get a narcissistic personality disorder. Except these people with the narcissistic personality disorders will have a huge amount of technological capacity in order to fulfill their narcissistic dreams. Hence, we're going to get the new Superman. We're going to get the new post-human. We're going to get the new Spider-Man, and we're going to see it all come out because that's how Hollywood's doing it. Hollywood prepares the ground for you to accept the new type of human which is coming. So it won't be a shock when Spider-Man suddenly comes drifting down the street or returning from Mars on a spaceship. Because remember, when you come back from Mars to Earth, you will not be able to live here because of the gravity difference. So you'll need to have a different body. Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, Marsman, or Martian. Most business people like Musk or Bezos, they're rich because they have this innate idea that they need to get money back on the money that they invest. They will never get any money back going to Mars. If they're so good at business and so clever, what is the real reason they're going to Mars? To get to Mars, you need between 100 billion and 100 trillion US dollars. The way they work this out is you need 100,000 US dollars per ton of merchandise. And in order to set up on Mars properly, you need 1 million tons. And so that's where the calculation comes from.
What Musk's Starlink satellites will offer us in the future is fast, reliable, cheap internet that benefits from very low latency. And what his satellites will do for him is generate around $30 billion a year in revenue, which is a boatload of cash that he can put towards the development of his rocket technology.
The financials. Musk has left the door wide open when answering this question, stating that putting a city on Mars within the next 3 decades could cost anywhere between $100 billion and $10 trillion. The finance calculations are based around the thinking that a city on Mars would require the transport of 1 million tons of cargo, minimum. A low estimate of $100,000 per ton is how we get to the $100 billion number.
Everything that goes to Mars needs to come from Earth. So Earth needs to go through a technological revolution in order to develop the technology in order to get to Mars. So the colonies that they want are 2025 on Mars. That's less than 4 years away. But they want to have 1 million people on Mars by 2050. So they've got to develop the technology here. By 2029, 2030, we should go through the technology doubling on itself every day. So we'll get massive amounts of technology coming out. Earth is the place we need to develop these technologies for Mars. So all of the technology that we're developing is there to help these Mars missions. And these technologies are all about controlling humans. The AI, the computers, the chips, the artificial intelligence, the viruses, the behavior modifications, the behavioral patterns, understanding human. It's all designed to control humans. China is the future. China is implementing this technology, but Mars is going to be a place where there's just no escape. It is a prison planet. If it costs between 100 billion and 1 trillion or $10 trillion to get to Mars, then you need to have money. So how is Mars going to happen? Elon Musk has SpaceX, which are the space rockets. He also has another company which is called Skynet. Skynet is what puts the satellites into space. Those satellites are going to create the 5G grid across the planet. That 5G grid is probably what's going to help artificial intelligence work, because artificial intelligence needs a grid to work off. So if Musk is going to Mars to run away from the AI, why is he building an AI grid to make AI come to Earth? Because he wants the money. So introduce the AI to Earth, get the money. How much money is that? It's 20 billion a year. So Musk, off that, will get 20 billion a year. I don't know how much profit it is. With that, he can invest into SpaceX. So the implementation of artificial intelligence, which is why we're going to Mars, is being introduced and paying for us to go to Mars. It doesn't sound logical. It sounds very strange. Musk, in effect, is building the AI. In order for this technology and this space race to be more ferocious, you just need to pit Elon Musk against Jeff Bezos. Although they have different ideas, Bezos wants to create space stations where you can go, and Musk wants to create these the Mars missions.
Now that the pair share not only the space exploration sector, but also the internet and self-driving car sector, they could start clashing heads ever more frequently. Believe it or not, this is potentially great news for all of us, and not just on the entertainment front. Competition of this caliber means progress and urgency. With Bezos pushing Musk and Musk pushing Bezos, these new emerging technologies will likely get to us sooner, be better, and potentially be cheaper too.
Now, if you want a colony in space by 2025, it's got to be a smart city. You need to have, everything's got to be monitored. What are they doing at the moment? They're creating smart cities. Every time you cross the street, every time you walk down the street, every time you buy something, everywhere you go, who you call, what you eat, it's all monitored. And they're going to be doing that in these cities, in the colonies in Mars. Why? Because if something goes wrong, it really, really, really goes wrong. I think Mars is going to be ruthless. I think that if they're carrying dead weight, they'll get rid of it. And because you can't get rid of dead weight, they'll make sure that dead weight never happens. And that will happen through programming, behavior modification, biological engineering, and joining humans and machinery together. I don't see space travel, which is something which is good for humanity. The last time people traveled to different places was during the 15th century when they discovered Australia, Latin America, Mexico, Galapagos Islands. And what happened as a result was prostitution, alcoholism, rape, destruction of culture. Going to Mars, we're pretty sure that nobody's there. But it's not about destroying other cultures, it's about destroying our own, it's about changing the human. Just as the conquistadors went to other countries to change those people, and they themselves were changed as well, and they created a new race of people in those countries. The race that they're going to create on Mars is going to be something of a metaphor to what we've already done.